Most of us could use more protein. Whether you're trying to gain weight, lose fat, or even maintain your body composition, protein is vital to keeping you satiated and strong. A good recommendation for protein is 0.8 of a gram per pound of body weight. Me being 180 pounds means I would need around 140 grams of protein a day. And that's not easy to get by accident.
In this video, I'm going to cover 8 different snacks with high protein, the first being the tried and true protein shake.
Every morning, I have a shake to start my day off right with 30 grams of protein. And I have a very specific recipe to keep my shake as clean and healthy as possible. Instead of a random protein powder with garbage ingredients like sugar, preservatives, artificial flavors, and who knows what else, I use a whey protein isolate, which basically means it's only whey protein with very little fat or sugar from the milk left over. The fact that it's grass-fed is not really that important. I've just been trying it out. For the liquid, I use 8 ounces of unsweetened almond milk because I like it and it's low calorie. Then I add 2 teaspoons of a cocoa powder that has a high polyphenol count. And those polyphenols are just plant compounds that have been found to be really good for you. If you were to buy like a regular chocolate protein powder off the shelves, the cocoa powder wouldn't be of very high quality and you wouldn't get those beneficial compounds. By the way, I'm not sponsored by any of these brands, they're just what I actually use. And if you wanted to pick some up for yourself, I have a link in the description. Next, I sweeten the shake with monk fruit extract, which is my favorite sugar alternative. It comes from a fruit, so it's probably less likely to cause issues down the line, and I think it tastes a lot like sugar. This one is my favorite that I found just because I like the bottle, I find it easy to use.
And the only ingredient is the extract itself.
Usually I add a bunch more ingredients to my morning protein shake. I have a couple other supplements I use, so let me know in the comments if you want to know what supplements I take. Another one of my daily snacks is non-fat Greek yogurt. Usually in the afternoon, I'll have a cup of yogurt, which is 90 calories, but 18 grams of protein, which to this day I still think is insane. It also has the added benefit of being a fermented food, which means it can help keep your gut microbiome balanced. My favorite way to eat the yogurt is with apple slices, like from Honeycrisp or Cosmic Crisp apples if I can find them. But if I don't have any apples, I'll just add some of that monk fruit sweetener and eat it plain. Something I realized too is that if I just chop up some toppings like berries, seeds, walnuts, sweeten it up a little bit and maybe add some oats, then I can make a parfait to rival McDonald's with a much better nutritional profile. I've been getting into eggs recently. They're just a great source of nutrition that are around 70 calories with 6 grams of protein and a ton of micronutrients that are hard to get elsewhere. Plus, they're super easy to make. You can honestly eat them however you like, sunny side up, scrambled, or whatever. But I've recently fallen in love with the marinated soft-boiled eggs you see in ramen recipes. Why can't that just be my snack? All you have to do is boil some water and then add as many eggs as you like and cook them for no more than 7 minutes. In the meantime, you make your marinade. In a non-reactive container like glass, combine half a cup of soy sauce and half a cup of mirin or another sweet cooking wine. This is my simplified marinade that I think encapsulates the idea behind what I see in most recipes for the eggs, but I wanted to make it simple and easy for American cooks. When the eggs are done, run them under water or put them in an ice bath or something to stop them from cooking any further so they have a nice soft-boiled center. Then you peel the eggs and place them in the marinade. If their tops are sticking out of the liquid, you can put a paper towel on top and that'll act as a cover to make sure they get the marinade all over. You can marinate for up to 12 hours, but I recommend after that taking the eggs out and putting them in a different container so they don't get over marinated. And the cool thing is when you take the eggs out, you can just use the marinade again for some more eggs so you can reuse it. Let's talk about what I do when I'm away from home. Sometimes I'm out and about and I need some protein and the only place to go is a convenience store. One of my go-tos is a pure protein bar. It's a protein bar that has 200 calories and 20 grams of protein, but only like 1 gram of added sugar, while many other brands have tons. I think it strikes a great balance between taste and protein, honestly. It's important to note that it still has around 10-ish net carbs and very little fiber, which in my estimation means that those carbs will hit your bloodstream pretty quickly. So I like to have it after I work out or after going on a walk or something, so I can be sure that my body can use those carbs. This is an example of what not to buy, mostly because of the high sugar content, 17 grams. I exclusively buy sugar-free jerky, but even still, I try to limit it to around once a week. I do this because of the questionable health effects of red meat, but also because of the definite health detriment to eating processed, cured, and smoked meats. But one time won't kill you.
Speaking of processed meat, if you already live a generally healthy lifestyle and you want to keep protein at hand,
You should introduce cold cuts into your life. I think the healthiest option would be some oven roasted turkey breast. Remember, what we're trying to avoid is added sugar and simple carbs. Sometimes I make a little roll up with some non-fat cheese sticks. Remember, fat's not necessarily bad, it's just that the lower the fat, the more protein. I take a few slices of my deli meat of choice and lay them flat. Then I take half a cheese stick and roll it up like sushi. If you want to go the extra mile, you can sear them off in a pan to get a gooey center and some browning on the outside. Another great option is canned tuna, and hear me out on this one because I was a little skeptical too. Canned tuna might be the lowest cost protein there is, and it doesn't taste like much. I'll take a can and then season it with salt and pepper to taste, along with homemade pepper flakes, a teaspoon of high quality olive oil for those good polyphenols, and an herb. I went with mint today. Finally, tofu is a great source of vegetable protein. Honestly, sometimes I eat tofu raw. But if you want to amp it up a little bit, here's something you can do. Press the tofu with paper towels to get all the moisture out. Remember, water is the enemy of flavor. Then cut your tofu into bite-sized pieces. I did about 1-inch cubes. And throw all that into a bowl. You can use whatever spices you like, but I went with a Chinese influence today. Add 1 teaspoon 5-spice powder, a half teaspoon onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder, a half teaspoon white pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon kosher salt, and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch to get a nice crust. Then I add a little bit of soy sauce to turn it into a slurry. Toss it with the best tool in the kitchen. Put a tablespoon of oil over medium-high heat until it's shimmering. I'm using a non-stick pan so that the tofu doesn't stick, because it can get kind of sticky with that cornstarch slurry on it. Cook the tofu on one edge until you get a nice crust, and then flip every piece. I recommend browning at least 3 sides so that your tofu is nice and crispy when you eat it. I hope this video gave you some good ideas of how to get more protein, because they're actually what I use. If you haven't before, maybe give the Greek yogurt a try. I eat that every day. And links in the description if you want to check anything out. Thanks for watching.